All right, welcome back to this throwing target build series. In this video, we focus on step 6, which is cutting all of our 2x10 boards. I have a lot of fun with this one. I think you're going to enjoy the comments along the way. So, I mean, the video is good, but the comments at the bottom are going to be amazing. I put a lot of time into those. Okay, well, enough intro. Enjoy the show. Okay, took a little break, went to the library. Gotta love the library. I was able to check out, well, they didn't have a circular saw. So I was hoping to get, this. Instead, I got this. I got a miter saw. They didn't have any circular saws. So now I get to set this up and cut the boards with that. I don't know that I've ever used a miter saw outside of a wood shop back in, junior high? Decades and decades ago. So this is going to be fun. My wife and son both think that I have completely lost my mind. Midlife crisis. I've lost it. They still love and support me. But this project's getting a little ludicrous at this point. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out where I can move things so that they're still in frame, but I still have room. What if we turn this way? And we back this up. That'll do. Now I can come around here. You can see me assembling the front, the back, and the stand for the miter saw can go over here. Just got to figure out how to assemble that. It did have a bag with, I'm assuming, the parts and instructions I need to set this up. So instruction manual, a little vacuum bag. So we got something to secure it, lock it down. All right, we got the saw stand, and we got the key to make it all happen. Don't forget, your local library probably allows you to check out tools to work on projects. The screwdriver and the miter saw, checking them out for a week. Since they don't count Sundays, it's actually due back following Monday, so I get a bonus day. But this project's gonna be finished today. All right, now what do I do to set this up? Collapsible miter saw stand. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like assembled. That's good to know. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now see, I could skip the directions. I'm gonna skim through the safety. We got the unpacking list. It's mostly assembled. It's just expanding it back out. And know your miter saw stand. We got rollers, roller brackets, mounting bracket lock, extension arm lock, leg lock pin, assembly and adjustments, operation. Well, this looks like it's assembled. I'm just bringing out the legs. Let's see, got a little press in there, got press in here. Then we got 2 more legs on this side. All right, that is good. That is good. I moved the boards to get them out of the garage door so I could bring that in. Now I need to stand those back up so I got room to move over here. Let's get these boards back upright. And since I've been using the boards as kind of just a easy practice. I don't know if you can see that from the distance from the camera, but yeah, that's the one that's been getting all the axes and knives. That's been my center board. So that will now be a backboard, and we can use the other side as a nice fresh board for the new holes that are going to go into it. I think my wife even was telling me that conversations with the ladies at work, she was talking about my axe throwing adventure. They were getting a good laugh at it. Tell you what, this table I can scoot back a little bit, since now that's really just my tool table. This is going to be the fun miter saw to cut our boards. And my hands are frozen. Let's warm this back up. What a day, what a day. Okay, now we can continue. Phone was going dead, so I had to get a charger on that. It's down to like 13%. I'll scoot this over just a little bit here. Okay, so got the stand assembled here. Now we need to get the miter saw on there. Turn this around. I think this is just a matter of setting this in the right spot and securing it. All right, that's on there. Okay, that looks good. And then we can extend these out, the roller bars there for our project. Set those as we need them. And we got cord here. I think I'm about to lose my heater because Gonna need the cord to plug this one in now. All right, let's go ahead and warm my hands real quick before I pull the plug. Hearing sounds outside the door there. I think my son's taking out trash. And we are good with the plug. I'll edit that out, but that was my son. I had video of my son. He even has suggestions for the project. That was awesome. All right, so let's see what we need to do here. Yeah, that felt wrong. Okay, there we go. So that's upright now. So that's straight cut. So this is if we want to do a bevel cut. Gotcha. And then we're going to want it to be at 90 degrees. So that comes up. Actually, these need to get locked down. All right, so that's secured now. That's not going anywhere. And then this, I'm assuming, goes there. We can spin. Nope. Well, we're going to want to put that on there. We'll make sure that's cleaned up before we take it back. We'll keep our sawdust from blowing everywhere. That's upside down. All right, so we got our sawdust bag. Empty that out when we're done. So read the instructions a little bit, the safety. I think I'm good. Let's go ahead and continue here. All right, so we're going to move this around because we're making straight cuts. We're going to lock that into the 90-degree position. Lock that down. Got it turned on here. I know where I'm supposed to put my hands, where the board goes. I got the on and off there for the light, so we can get a little extra light on the view here. And making sure everything is where it should be. Don't want to accidentally cut the cord or anything crazy. All right, well, I'm still missing one thing. How do I lift it up? Again, novice here, dealing with sharp, heavy machinery. So wish me luck. The things I do for YouTube, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm being safe with all this. I'm not concerned with it. I have worked with power tools in the past. This is not a first-time thing. For some reason, I am stumped on why I can't lift the blade. Feels like something is locked because, you know, it's been going back and forth to the library, so they got it secured. Okay, so that's the safety there. So you don't accidentally press the button. You have to do the safety and then press now. But we need to get it lifted up first because it's at the bottom of the cut, not the top of the cut. So we need to get it in the right position. That is a 12-inch, so I think we're good getting the full cut in. All right, what is the release that I'm missing here? What locks it into this position? All right, well, maybe I need to read a little bit more. Okay, so there's a headlock pin, 17. 17 is here. Yeah, that's the pin that I'm messing around with because that seems like the one. It's got it locked in. To release, press the saw head down and pull the pin out. Easy when you read the instructions. All right, first try. So now, do a little test. Press the safety. Got this. All right. Now we need to measure our boards and we can make our cuts and then we can finish this project up. Okay, sweet. Finally, the end is in sight and my hands are frozen. Okay, so we need 5 4-foot cuts. So let's go ahead and start doing those. So we got our extensions here. Let's go ahead and move those all the way out because we're dealing with long board here. Not sure how far. Okay, yep, good. That locks in place. All right, so we'll give that maximum extension. All right, sweet. All right. Okay, so we got the lock in here. All right, so I think we just need our measuring tape, our pencil. So we're going in 4 feet. And then if we measure from the other side, is that 4 feet? All right, from this side, that's 4 feet. All right, we cut in between, should put us about in the right spot. And then this fancy speed square that I got has a little extension. So let's scoot that so it's not under the blade. Then we will take our pencil there. I got it lined up. All right, so we're going here and we're going here. So I think if we cut on either side of that line, we're perfect for our 4 feet. Or actually, if we line it up right in the center, we'll check the width of the blade and we'll just do that as our first test. Okay, so the proper position, when I was looking at this, is we make sure that perfectly lined up now. It's pushed against the back plate, hand up here, hand over here, or you can do hand over here and hand here. Since I'm right-handed, we're going to go with this, and we're going to make our first cut with the miter saw. This is a fun day. Was not expecting to do this when I started my day. All right, here we go. Okay, so what I learned from that one is the blade is not as wide as what we're cutting, and it's also not quite enough to make a 10, so I'm gonna have to do a follow-up cut to finish it off. So what I'm gonna do is shift it slightly over, and we're gonna get another cut to finish right at the right spot. And I'm gonna go ahead and shift it this way. And we're gonna line that up. Okay, let's see if that's gonna get the extra off. And just because I'm having fun, I'm gonna shift it like another millimeter this way, get right on that line, get it perfect. All right. I think that's what I'm gonna end up, when I'm doing these projects, I'm gonna be the perfectionist. It's gotta get every cut perfect. All right, so free and clear. All right, so let's check what we got. I've got this nice little paper thin section right here that I want to try to get out. But what we need to do is we're going to flip over our board. We're going to get that last little bit cleared out. All right, so we're going to line that up right there. All right, I'm going to finish it off. Okay, so this board is done. That's our nice 4-foot section. So we have this is going to be one of our boards for our target. Just going to set this in here for now. So now what we have, let's see if I can go ahead and get that piece off. Oh, I ended up cutting it. But I got this nice little paper thin section right there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this over. Well, let's try this. Since I prefer holding it with my left hand at this point, we're going to move it this way. We'll get it flush there. There's less of it to work with, but this should give us a nice, holding it on the left side, hands nice and free, away from the blade, got the guard in place. Shift it slightly over. Here, we'll pull our blade down. That'll be our measure. All right. So now we got it in the right spot. Let's go ahead and finish the cut. All right, so we have our second 4-foot board. So let's double check our plans here. All right, so 4-foot boards, we need 5 of those. So we can do one more of our 8-foot sections and get 4-foot boards. And yeah, that one's all cut up, but I can adjust that one so it's in the center. We'll get our next board up here. You know, now that I'm playing around with this, I'm so glad that the battery on my new circular saw wasn't charged and I didn't have a charger, because I would not have had the experience of using this miter saw today. And this has given me some confidence I didn't have before that I can do wood projects. I think I mentioned in another video, one of the ideas I had for I don't know, making some extra money was I was looking at doing some like woodworking projects, you know, taking some cheap supplies, making things with it and selling it on Etsy or something. Just be a fun little thing I could do from the garage. Of course, I wasn't thinking middle of winter, it's going to be cold. But, whew, yeah, it's very cold. Turn my heater off. All right, so we're going to square this up, get our lines across so we can easily see what we're cutting. And again, there's a little bit of room in the middle, but this one looks like it's a lot closer to exactly 8 feet. Yeah, that's about the width of the blade right there. So I think this is a one-cut deal this time. All right, so we'll try to line that up as perfectly as we can. Here we go. Safety first. All right, it's not quite there, so we're going to shift it slightly, and we'll get the other side. Okay, we'll flip it over. And we'll finish our cut. All right. Nice and clean. Shift that out of the way just a little bit. Move the board to the right spot. There we go, lined up with the blade. Now we have 4-foot boards, 3 and 4. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little pause to put my hands in my pocket and warm those back up. Take a look at the instructions here. Okay, so we need 1 more 4-foot, and then we're gonna need 5, 3, 10 and a quarter. And that's gonna be our backer boards. So these, the ones I'm cutting now, these are our target boards. So these are the ones that are gonna be on the front that we're gonna be throwing the axes at. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one out. Let's see, do I wanna use this one? Yeah, I'll go ahead and use this one. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna keep these that have taken all the damage from my practices so far, and I'm gonna make those my backer boards. So I'm gonna take this one that's been at the edge that I've barely touched because I've kept it mostly in that center board. I'll hit the like 2nd and 4th boards occasionally, but done pretty good getting most of them in the center when I hit it. I'll hit it the 2nd and 4th boards sometimes just to kind of jostle things around since you're sitting there loose. And then that way it'll kind of bounce it to where I need it. Okay, so first one is I need one that's 4 foot. So we'll measure another 4-foot board here. We will measure, our next one is gonna be a 3, 10 and a quarter. It's gonna put it right there. Maybe a little piece in the center is all. Okay, scoot that out here so we can get our straight lines on it. Get our speed square all lined up and get our line there. And we will get this one here and get our line there. All right, perfect. I know I've gotten frustrated with this project, but this is a fun project. I am really enjoying this one, and I'm so looking forward to throwing the first axe and knife at this target. That is going to be so much fun. It's going to make it all worth it. All right, so let's line up our cut here. All right, there we go. Looking good. All right, making my cut. Okay, and then we'll shift it down. We'll go ahead and get this side. And I need to be on that side of the cut. So we're going to shift it over just a little bit. All right, looks good. Excuse me, cold. All right, here we go. All right, looking good. And we'll just flip it over and we'll finish off the cuts. We'll line that up. All right, that looks pretty good. Cutting. Okay, so this is our other 4-foot board here. So we got all of our front boards. That's what we're gonna be throwing axes at. And then this is gonna be one of our backer boards. Those are the ones that go side to side. So our target boards, the one we're throwing at, are gonna be up and down. That way, like the axe blade and the knife blade, they're gonna hit with the grain of the wood instead of against it. It makes it easier for them to stick. So here I'm gonna switch this around because I do prefer having my left hand there. It does feel more natural than trying to do like here because it feels like I'm blocking my view more if I do that. I don't know, I might try that next just to make sure. It'd probably be better to get used to both. Instead of assuming one is more natural, I should try both. Because I have noticed I'm good with my left hand on a lot of things. Like if I'm playing putt-putt, I actually am better with my left hand than right hand. It's just weird how the body works sometimes. You think you're right-handed until your body says, nope, you're better with your left. All right, here we go. Here we go. Got a nice little block out of that one from the center. All right, so this is going to be one of our backer boards. So these are the ones that are going to go this way, and that's going to give us the surface that our actual target boards are going to go on. So let's get our next board up here. I'm going to save that one for last. Actually, I probably shouldn't do that. Let me check to see what other boards I need. So I've got a good one. All right, because we do have, well, the bottom ledger board is another 3, 10 and a quarter. So even though it's saying I need 5, 3, 10 and a quarter, I really need 6, 3, 10 and a quarter. And then the top ledger board is 3, 10 and a quarter. So it's really confusing. Technically, I need 7, 3, 10 and a quarter. So that gives me the flexibility of I can use any of these boards for top, bottom. I've only been hitting one side, so I can put the already used side toward the center, and it'll be all good. All right, so let's go ahead and measure our 3, 10 1/4 from both sides. We'll have our center cuts. I should have a bigger piece out of the center this time. So 3, 10 1/4. Got it. All right, and then we'll do our straight lines. So got it, and 3, 10 1/4. Squared up, lined up. 3, 10 1/4. Ooh, let my hands warm up again. Took a little break to warm up and let my phone charge up a little bit. It's still really low, but I want to try to get this completed. Hopefully it has enough. It is on the charger, but it's still draining. So let's see if we can finish up these cuts and get everything completed so I can wrap up this project and move on to the next one. All right, so we got the cut lined up. I'll flip it over and finish the other side. Okay, cutting. Okay, so this is one of our boards complete. We're gonna end up with 7 of those. And we'll slide this down, line it up. There we go. Okay, and cutting. Got another little board and another backing board. Let's get our next one out. I'll save that one for last. That's just, I like looking at that one. That's been my target for the last 8 days, or I guess 7 days. Day 8, I should be able to use the actual official target. All right, so we're doing 3, 10 1/4 right here. Actually, let's move that down because that puts me right in a knot. 3, 10 1/4, it's right there. Yeah, I know I've been getting frustrated with this project because it has been one crazy thing after another. But those struggles have made it worth it in the end. I'm going to appreciate the final product so much more because I worked so hard to get there. Seems like no matter what I did, something would come up. But we are approaching the finish line. I think we have everything in place to finish up. Now, if I can just keep my phone, that's the last hurdle I think we're fighting. Hopefully. All right, so got that. And again, wow, that metal gets cold. Woo! Okay. Yeah, I could wear gloves at this point, but all right, let's line that up. All right, got it. Cutting. Move it down to the next one and line it up, and then cutting. It's funny, I can actually smell the knot that it cut on that one. Seems like it has a different smell to it. Or maybe I'm making up, I don't know. I think I smell it. All right, here we go, cutting. There is another backer board. Line this one up, perfect, cutting. Another board, another backer board. So that's got us at 5. So yep, this is our last one. Thinking it's gonna be hard to measure that. Yeah, I've got to flip that one over to do the measurements. Oops. Yeah, we'll cut the other side of the board. Look how pretty that side is. That's gonna be nice. You know what? This is gonna be my ledger boards. I need 2 ledger boards, 3 10 1/4. Yep, that's my ledger boards. That way I know the top and bottom, that's the ones that were my original. Those stay where they're at. I'll be switching out the other ones as I put more axes and knives into them, but these 2 were my original. They're gonna stay right where I put them now. All right, so 3 10 1/4 right there. I may do something special with this center piece that I'm about to cut out of it. Pencil not quite done with that. So line it up, get my line it up, got my line, and again, wow, that thing gets so cold. I should put on gloves just for that part, but this is my last one. So let's line up this cut. Ooh, splinters on that one. One's got beaten up so bad when I'm grabbing it, I'm getting splinters on the bottom side. Push it back, make it flush. Here we go, cutting. And let's get this one. Needs to be slightly to that side. There we go. Nudge it over and cutting. That wasn't quite centered. Let me correct that just a little bit. Now let's flip it over. Clear away some of the pieces that are cut off because this one's gotten a little bit more damage than most. Make sure it's flush this time. Yeah, I got the little piece in the middle there. That's what bounced it over, so it wasn't quite perfect first try. All right, here we go. Cutting. Okay, so we'll set this one over here as one of our special boards. And then let's line up this last one. Get it flush. Cutting. Yeah, I got to do something with that special board right there. And then this is our last board. We are done with a miter saw. That was a lot of fun. I almost want to go buy some more wood and do another project while I have this checked out from the library. But it's very cold. I'm not sure. I think that can wait till warmer weather. But now I definitely know I want one of these for my own. This is pretty awesome. I think I'm going to pause there, kind of reset some stuff, and get ready to put on those boards. So be right back. I had so much fun making this video. It was just amazing working with that miter saw. Okay, so we had 7 lessons learned, 6 wise words, and only 5 mentions for the library because I didn't have to keep talking about going back to get more tools. We only had 1 mistake, which is kind of a repeat from a previous video. So I think we did pretty good today. Made a lot of progress. You can't really see it because it was mostly just cutting boards, but I had so much fun coming up with all those comments down at the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed those. Okay, so I'm working on part 4 now. Go ahead and subscribe so you can get notified when that comes out. And I'll also include the playlist for my monthly resolutions so you can see the beginning in my first axe and knife throwing practice out in the backyard in the snow. That was a lot of fun. Okay, well, I'm gonna go now and keep working on the videos. See you next time.